Speaking of things that are getting worse, I'm just looking at the worldwide box office for Blue Beetle right now. It's currently sitting at 49 million.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
It's the hurricane. The hurricane. Everybody's going to come back any minute now after the tropical depression that was not even a hurricane.
Well, that's where the audience lives. That's where all the Latinos live, you know, in South California. So
yeah, you wait. Yeah,
I mean, I thought
weekend will be enormous.
I thought we were all at the point of agreeing anyway. Even if the film was actually great, it was never going to be able to win. It just couldn't.
It couldn't.
Not with the budget, no way.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
it was
I
doomed
think,
anyway.
you know, we predicted this in the weeks leading up to its release that it's essentially got everything going against it that a superhero movie can have. You know, it's coming out at that weird dead spot, like after the schools have gone back and the summer blockbuster season's over. It's
and the interest in superheroes is an all-time low.
It's a superhero movie at a time when like superhero movies in general are on the sharp decline. It's coming out from DC, a studio that's produced nothing but flops for the past year. It's got no major stars attached to it. It's a character that no one knows about or cares about. It's like everything that you could put against this movie is working against it right now. And it never really had a chance. And I feel almost bad for it. I feel bad for the people involved because it's like you were set up to fail, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was shit, so I don't feel that bad.
Yeah, I thought it was shit, so I don't care.
Fair enough.
It was just a paint by the numbers superhero movie. So I'm all like when I was watching it, I took my 5-year-old son and he liked it because he's 5 and you know kids are stupid. But I just but like the whole time watching it, I'm all like, this is the AliExpress version of Iron Man. Why are we making this? It's like so not good. Like it's like it's got some fun stuff and I like that Sholo margarita guy. I just don't like. It was just not a good. It was fine, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great.
Yeah, I think that's the sentiment I would go with as well. In that it was just a paint by numbers, bland, generic, inoffensive superhero movie with nothing to like really distinguish it.
When they remake so inclusive and diverse,
it was
well. This is it. When they remake Star Wars, is Han Solo going to become Juan Solo?
No, he's going to be Hana Solo or Wana Solo. That's what he'll be. Juana Solo.
And then Luke's going to go Mamacita.
I hope so. But,
sorry, Lucy Skywalker.
Skywalker. That's right. And I mean, Prince Leia. Don't forget that. It'll be Prince Leia.
Yeah.
They, them. Prince Leia, they, them.
I guess, I mean, is this just part of the trend now? You know, the next superhero movie we're going to get is the Marvels. I don't imagine that's going to do too well. So, I don't know, man. Like, as far as the superhero genre goes, is there anything that can turn things around, or is this just just where we're at now?
No. Yes. Putting it on ice for 10 years and then revisiting it. I mean, what they'll do is they'll eke out like some like legitimately good it'll probably be a Superman or a Spider-Man or a Batman. It's got to be one of those three.
Or a Joker.
Or a Joker. Ancillary characters are not going to make it anymore because people are just like, even when James Gunn eventually comes out with the Superman and it's freaking great because of this era, a lot of normies are just going to roll their eyes and go, no. Nope.
That's true.
And like, it's what happens. You know, I talked about it in my video, but like superhero fatigue is here because of too many bad movies. Mm-hmm. But it does create superhero fatigue, and we are seeing diminishing returns with movies that people liked. Like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 should have been $1 billion. Should have been $1 billion freaking dollars, especially them spending upwards of $250 to $300 million on it, and it barely eked out a profit and didn't do better than its predecessor. The Batman did well, but it cost $200 million plus another $100 million of marketing. You times that by 3, didn't make a ton of money, and they were expecting $1 billion. And those are two good examples. And Blue Beetle, I didn't like it. Some people did. Never had a chance. So that's part of it. There's just too much crap out there. Now, again, Spider-Man's probably always going to do well, but they're going to eventually going to have to recast Captain America and Iron Man and bring them back. And that's probably what they're going to set up with Secret Wars. They're going to reboot. But if they do it right away, it's like with Doctor Who. You turn things around with Doctor Who. You brought RTD back. You bring David Tennant back. but you're never going to equal what the 50th anniversary did. That was like the peak of popularity here in America and around the world. It's always been popular in the UK, but I'm talking about they're trying to repeat around the world. They're not even going to get effing close to that. Like the lead up to the 60th is dead compared to the lead up to the 50th. So yes, you could try to fix things, but it'll be too late. And that's where the fatigue sets in. And that's just the way of the world. It's time for a new independent movement. We need original stories. And and like hopefully that void gets filled. Hopefully it gets filled.
I mean, just seeing the success of things like Sound of Freedom just shows how desperate people are for something different.
Absolutely. That actually made more money domestically than Mission Impossible last time I looked at the numbers. I was yeah,
it's not even released internationally as well. So it's like God only knows where that's going to end up.
Yeah,
it made a crap ton of money, and Disney sold it.
Yeah. Well, they sat on it for like 5 years, didn't they?
They did, and
it was a Fox. It was a Fox thing, and when they acquired Fox, it came along with it, and then sat on it, and sold it to Angel Studios, and
Disney's going to lose this year. I know it was reported earlier, but now the numbers are coming in with Indiana Jones 5. They're going to lose $1 billion on the theatrical.
Oh, that's just this year? Does that include last year?
That's probably what they lost last year too, and that's not counting how much they lost on streaming. They're bleeding money right now.
That's so sad.
And didn't they just renew Bob Iger's contract again?
They did.
And I go, he's the one that made these decisions, and you wanted to blame Chapek, and I'm not, absolving Chapek of his bad choices, but Bob Iger set this crap in motion, but you guys are like, hey, we'll just give you a job because you're, the savior of Disney, and I'm like, no, he's your Judas, so get rid of him ASAP. But
too entrenched, too corporate, and I mean the dire opposite of like American culture, American pop culture, which is, I mean, quite frankly, the fast food form of art, but it's the it's what most people like, and it is a major part of our culture and our identity as a nation. The direct opposite of that is the banker and the board member on a freaking corporation who has no freaking idea. Again, Kathleen Kennedy's 72 years old. She should be writing. I'm going to use the joke again. I don't care. She should be writing $12 checks to her grandchildren and not making decisions for one of the greatest IPs ever. But she's disconnected. She has no fucking idea what, like, young people aren't going to movies. Like, I go to movies. It's like a kid is with their parent, but it used to be filled with teenagers.
That's so
and they're
true.
Not anymore. And it's a dying generation because we have these people who don't know shit about fandom. So we can't expect them to know anything about science fiction, fantasy, and then go deeper into the lore of an individual story. They have no idea. They don't care. They want to commoditize it, make it as woke as possible to satisfy their ESG overlords. And now they're in it. They stepped in it, and they're striking right now at the worst time possible. I don't think it'll happen, but I know I'm so sad. But then it would kind of be funny if California locked down right when they finish a strike. I would laugh my ass off for that, especially since I'm not there anymore.